If you had to choose between a bag full of gold or a clay tablet containing wise words, which would you prefer?
Mm, that's a powerful question, isn't it? And it really sets the stage for our deep dive today. We're exploring the timeless financial wisdom in George Clason's classic, The Richest Man in Babylon.
Hmm.
Our mission here is simple. Pull out the absolute best insights, the key nuggets of knowledge from this amazing book. Think of it as a shortcut to getting really well informed and hopefully sparking some aha moments for you personally.
Yeah, it really is like stepping back in time, isn't it? Back to ancient Babylon, which people often call the cradle of, well, of financial thinking. But the amazing thing is, these aren't just dusty old ideas. They're incredibly practical lessons for managing your own money that honestly work just as well today as they did thousands of years ago. Oh, and just a quick note, if you're a visual person, we've put together a detailed mind map covering these principles. You can find a link for that right in the description. It might help cement some of these ideas. Great stuff. Okay, so let's get into it. The book starts right at the core premise. Clason himself puts it this way in the preface. He says, "This book can be described as a guide that weak-willed individuals can use to better understand financial matters."
Weak-willed. It's interesting phrasing, maybe a bit harsh for modern ears.
A little, perhaps.
But the point he's making is that the book isn't just about getting money. That's only part one. It's really about how to, keep the money you get and then, crucially, how to make it grow. And the source argues this wisdom actually started right there in Babylon, that it's the foundation for how we think about finance even now.
Yeah.
It's all about tackling those common money problems using these time-tested, sensible principles.
And right away, we meet these characters, Basir and Kobe, and their struggles feel, wow, really familiar. Even today, the book kicks off with the man who desired gold, and it says, Basir, the chariot maker of Babylon, was very reluctant.
Yeah, Basir is a skilled craftsman, makes chariots. His friend Kobe is a musician, also talented.
Yeah.
But they're both broke, just struggling financially, even though they work hard. And the book paints this picture of Babylon, It says Babylon was always like this. Grandeur, ostentation, and dazzling wealth alongside the gyrous poverty.
Wow.
Haphazardly coexisting within the city's protective walls. So you have extreme wealth right next to extreme poverty. And these two guys, Basir and Kobe, they're living right in the middle of the richest city imaginable, and they're just completely frustrated because they're still poor.
And they have this moment, right? Kobe basically asks Basir, how can we ever afford anything nice, like a good instrument, when, and this is the quote, both of us are as poor as the king's slaves?
That's the turning point.
Yeah, it's like a wake-up call. And that's when they decide, okay, we need answers. We need to go find Arcad. He's the richest guy in town. He must know something we don't. It's that classic search for, the secret.
Exactly. And that search leads us straight to the real meat of the book, Arcad's wisdom. And Arcad, well, he doesn't pull any punches. When his old friends complain, he apparently gets pretty fired up. He says, if you haven't earned more than enough to sustain yourself since our youth, it's either because you haven't learned the rules of building wealth or you haven't paid attention to them.
Oof, direct.
Very. Arcad's view is crystal clear. Wealth isn't luck. It comes from understanding rules and actually following them. He says, wealth is power. It lets you have the good things in life. And then he shares his own story. He started as a simple scribe, worked really hard, and had this key meeting with Allagash, a moneylender, who taught him that first vital lesson. And that leads right into his famous 7 cures for a lean purse.
Okay, let's unpack these. Cure number 1, start thy purse to fattening. Simple advice, but potentially life-changing. Arcad says, put only 9 of every 10 pieces of money you put into your purse into circulation.
Right, save 10%.
Every time.
Every single time, no matter how much or how little you earn. And he adds, then your purse will begin to swell, and its weight in your hand will satisfy your soul.
I like that. It's practical, but also kind of psychological, right? That feeling of the purse getting heavier.
Totally. It's about building momentum, that positive feedback. It's about consciously deciding this part is for me, for my future. Paying yourself first. It's a huge mental shift.
Okay, so you're saving that 10%. What's cure number 2? This one hits close to home for a lot of us. Control thy expenditures. Arcad observes, expenses that we define as necessary increase in proportion to our income unless we actively work against it.
Lifestyle creep?
Exactly. And then he says, do not confuse necessary expenses with your desires.
This is huge. It's basically about budgeting, but more than that. It's about being honest with yourself. What do you truly need versus what do you just want? Arcad says you need a plan for your spending. Otherwise, that 10% you just saved, it'll just get swallowed up by other things. It's about making sure saving is actually possible. and then directing the rest towards things you genuinely value. Conscious spending.
Right. So you're saving, you're controlling spending. What's next? Cure 3. Make thy gold multiply. Okay, so this is about investing.
Precisely. Arcad points out, though gold in your purse may satisfy a miserly soul, it gains you nothing. Just hoarding cash doesn't build wealth.
It feels safe, maybe, but it doesn't grow.
Exactly.
All right.
He says, the gold we set aside from our earnings is only the beginning. What we earn from this gold will build our fortune. So you have to put that saved money to work. Uses his own example. Lending money to Agar, the shield maker. He got his money back, plus interest.
Yeah.
That interest then could be put to work, too. And he tells this great little parable about a farmer's son. Yeah, the son starts with just 10 pieces of silver, invests it wisely, and over 50 years it grows to 167 pieces. It's a simple illustration, but it shows the incredible power of compounding. Your money starts making money for you. That's the engine of wealth building.
Wow. Okay, but investing can be risky, right? Which leads perfectly into Cure 4. Guard thy treasures from loss. Arcad warns, misfortune loves to find a shining target. Gold in one's purse must be fiercely protected against loss.
And he learned this the hard way. He shares a story about his first big investment loss. He gave his savings to Esmer, a bricklayer.
A bricklayer?
Yep. Esmer was going traveling and promised to buy rare jewels from Phoenician traders. Sounds dodgy already, right?
Yeah, a bit.
Turns out the Phoenicians were con artists. The jewels were worthless glass. Arcad lost everything. The lesson. Stick to what you know, or get advice from people who really know what they're doing. As Arcad puts it, it is much better to seek the opinion and advice of people accustomed to using money to make a profit. Due diligence, basically. Don't trust a bricklayer with your jewel investments.
Good advice. Okay, Cure 5 is interesting. Make of thy dwelling a profitable investment. So this is about home ownership.
Essentially, yes. Arcad's advice is, if you set aside 9/10 of your earnings to live and enjoy life, and if you can turn any part of that 9/10 into a profitable investment without harming your personal well-being, then your treasure will grow even faster. In Babylon, the king apparently made land affordable, and lenders helped people buy homes. The idea was, once you own your home and pay off the loan, your living costs drop dramatically. Just taxes left, maybe upkeep.
Right, freeing up more money.
Exactly. It frees up cash flow that you were previously spending on rent. That extra cash can then be saved or invested, accelerating your wealth building. It turns a major expense into a potential asset over time.
Makes sense. Okay, thinking long-term now. Cure 6. Ensure a future income. This sounds like retirement planning, ancient style.
That's exactly what it is. Arcad is very clear. Life flows from childhood to old age. This is the path of life, unless something unexpected happens. He says, providing a suitable income for future days when one is no longer young is an important task.
So planning ahead for when you can't work anymore or want to slow down?
Absolutely. Planning for retirement, making sure your family is taken care of if you're not around. The book talks about making regular small payments, consistently, that grow over time into a substantial sum you can draw on later. It's about ensuring security in your later years. Peace of mind.
It's amazing how relevant that still is. Okay, the final cure, Cure 7, increase thy ability to earn. And Arcad says this one isn't about gold, it's about you.
Yes. He says, today I will tell you one of the most vital solutions for a lean purse, but I will speak not of gold, but of you. This is all about personal development. Keep learning, get better at what you do, increase your skills, become more competent in your job or craft. Arcad believed that strong, clear desires are the starting point for success.
So know what you want.
Know what you want, and then actively work to become better, more efficient, more knowledgeable. As you improve your ability to serve or produce, your earnings will naturally increase. It's investing in yourself as your greatest asset.
Those 7 cures are incredibly comprehensive. But the book doesn't stop there, does it? It talks about luck next.
Right, the goddess of good luck. And it starts by saying the desire to be lucky is a universal desire. People wanted it 4,000 years ago. People want it now.
But Arcad has a different take on luck, doesn't he?
He really does. He argues good luck often follows opportunity and usually does not come to anyone otherwise. Luck isn't just random. It comes to those who are prepared and act when opportunity appears. He tells stories to illustrate this. A merchant who waits too long and misses a great land deal. A camel trader who procrastinates buying sheep and misses out. The message is clear.
Seize the day.
Pretty much. If a man wants to be lucky, he acts quickly. Don't hesitate when opportunity knocks. Procrastination, Arcad suggests, is the biggest enemy of good fortune.
Which leads nicely to another set of principles introduced with that question we started with. If you had to choose between a bag full of gold or a clay tablet containing wise words, which would you prefer?
Wisdom versus wealth. This introduces the story of Kalabak, a caravan leader, passing Arkad's wisdom on to his son, Nama. And Nama, well, Nama doesn't get it at first.
What
He
happens?
inherits gold, but quickly loses it all through gambling and bad business partnerships. Just makes impulsive, uninformed decisions. It's a classic tale of riches to rags
Right.
because he lacked the wisdom.
Until he has that aha moment, right? He says, I read the wise words and realized that if I had sought wisdom first, I would not have lost my gold.
Exactly. And that leads him to embrace the 5 laws of gold, which really echo Arkad's cures but frame them slightly differently.
Okay, what are the 5 laws?
1. Gold comes easily to those who save at least a tenth of their earnings. 2. Gold works hard for wise owners who find profitable work for it. 3. Gold stays with cautious owners who listen to expert advice.
Sensing a theme here.
Definitely. 4. Gold slips away from those who invest in things they don't understand or ignore good advice. And 5. Gold completely flees from those chasing impossible earnings or listening to fraudsters.
Pretty clear rules.
Very. And Nana, by following these rules diligently, rebuilds his fortune. It proves the point. The wisdom, the principles, they're ultimately more valuable than just having the cash. Knowledge is the real wealth.
The book is full of these kinds of stories, isn't it? Like the gold lender of Babylon. It starts with Rodan, the dagger maker, who suddenly has a lot of money. Never carried so much money in his lean purse before.
Yeah, Rodon gets a big payment from the king, feels rich, and immediately his sister's husband asks for a loan to start a business. Rodan's unsure what to do.
A common dilemma.
Totally. So he goes to Matan, the experienced gold lender, for advice. And Matan says something really wise. If you want to help your friend, you should do so in a way that you don't take your friend's burden upon yourself. Matan then explains how to lend wisely. Assess the risk, understand exactly what the money is for, judge the borrower's ability to repay, and always get collateral or security.
Protect your capital.
Protect your capital.
Yeah.
Matan stresses, gold is the property of the lender. It is easy to lend, but if lent foolishly, it is hard to get back. You have to be prudent, even when trying to help.
Shifting perspective a bit, the book uses the actual walls of Babylon as a metaphor, right, for protection.
It does. It describes the massive, impressive walls that protected the city and says, the walls of Babylon were a magnificent example of the instinct for protection that people needed and desired. This need is innate in humanity.
So how does that relate to finance?
The metaphor is that just like those physical walls protected Babylon from invaders, things like insurance, emergency savings, reliable investments, they act like financial walls. They create a barrier, an insurmountable wall, against unexpected disasters, illness, job loss, accidents. It highlights that deep human need for security and planning ahead to build that protection.
That's a powerful image. And then there's the story of Dabasir, the camel merchant. This one tackles debt and self-respect head-on. It starts quite vividly. A man thinks more clearly when he is hungry.
Yeah, Dabasir's story is incredibly moving. He was once respected, then fell deep into debt, lost everything, and ended up enslaved in Syria. It's a story of hitting rock bottom.
But he finds his way back.
He does. The turning point comes in the desert. His Syrian master, Sira, challenges him, asking basically, if your spirit is free, can't you regain your respect even after misfortune? Dabasir realizes the difference between a free soul and an enslaved one. As the book puts it, a man whose soul is free looks at all problems as solvable. A man whose soul is enslaved complains, what can I do as a slave?
Mindset again.
Absolutely. He embraces the idea that where there is will, there is a way. He escapes, returns to Babylon, determined to pay his debts and regain his honor. It's about taking responsibility and refusing to be defined by your circumstances.
And his plan is actually recorded, isn't it, on clay tablets?
That's the incredible part. The clay tablets of Babylon describes archaeologists finding tablets inscribed by Dabasir himself. It starts, when the moon was full, I, Dabasir, determined to pay my debts, am keeping a permanent record on clay of the methods that guide and help me.
Wow, direct evidence. So what was his plan?
It was beautifully simple, a 3-part split of his income, 10% saved for himself, cure 1, 70% for living expenses, cure 2, controlled, and a dedicated 20% put towards paying off his debts systematically. Even with small earnings, this consistent plan allowed him and others who followed it to get out of debt and achieve financial freedom.
And didn't a modern academic try this plan?
Yeah, this story mentions an Alfred H. Shrewsbury who was struggling with debt himself. He tried Dabasir's 5,000-year-old plan and was amazed that it worked perfectly. He even said something like, creating this saving is much more enjoyable than spending. He found joy in the discipline.
Amazing how timeless it is. The book seems to end with a strong focus on the value of work itself in The Luckiest Man in Babylon.
Right. We meet Sharonada, the merchant prince, leading a caravan. He's incredibly wealthy. Traveling with him is Hadan Gula, the grandson of his former business partner.
And Hadangula has a bit of an attitude.
A big one. He looks down on work, thinks it's only for slaves. But Sharonada reveals he used to be a slave, forced into it, and earned his freedom and fortune through sheer hard work, making bricks, baking, trading, whatever it took. Sharonada tells Hadangula that work is the best friend. All the good things I have had so far are thanks to it. Work isn't degrading. It's the source of prosperity and self-respect.
How does Hadangula react?
It's a total transformation. He sees the dignity and power in Sharonada's story. He sheds his fancy clothes, ready to embrace hard work himself, realizing that was his grandfather's real secret too.
He finally gets it. He says, I am grateful to you for giving me the real key to his success.
Yeah, the message is loud and clear. Hard work, diligence, a strong work ethic, that's the real luck, the real key to achieving anything worthwhile.
So wrapping up, the book gives us this historical context too, the history of Babylon. It calls it possibly the most magnificent city ever.
And it emphasizes something incredible. Babylon had almost no natural resources, no forests, no mines, not much rainfall.
So how did it become so wealthy?
Pure human ingenuity and effort. As the book says, Babylon, an example of how man can achieve great goals. All the wealth of this great city was created by people. All its riches were man-made. They built amazing irrigation canals, became pioneers in engineering, finance, astronomy. It's a testament to what people can achieve with determination and smarts.
But it also warns us Babylon didn't fall because its walls were breached, right?
No, the source suggests it fell due to internal decay, losing its drive, people abandoning the principles that made it great. It's a reminder that these wise ideas still hold true, and neglecting them has consequences, whether for a person or a whole civilization.
Wow. This deep dive into the richest man in Babylon, it really shows how powerful this ancient wisdom still is for our lives today, our financial lives especially. It feels really empowering, actually. Like, wealth isn't some big mystery. It's just about consistently applying these common sense principles.
I agree. The big takeaway is definitely about knowledge and consistent action. It's not about get-rich-quick schemes. You look at Arkad, Dabasir, Sharonada, their stories all highlight self-discipline, smart investing, saving, and the fundamental value of work. These ideas just don't get old.
So the question for everyone listening is, what clay tablet of wisdom will you carve for your own future? How are you going to start applying some of this, maybe even today? Before you go, please remember to follow us if you haven't already. Give us a like if you enjoyed this deep dive, and definitely leave a comment. We love hearing your thoughts. Thank you so much in advance to all of you who share your insights and help this community grow.